Hello, computer scientists. This is Mr. Lang here, and I'm going to work through the project that my class has been working on and flying drones through these hula hoops as a competition. How cool is that? And we had to fly the drones through these hula hoops by creating program in Python to send to these drones to fly. So it was really fun, and you could probably see the drone here in my YouTube video flying through the first hoop. And so there's a series of hoops that they have to fly through, different things that they have to do once they get through the hoops. And I'm going to kind of go through that and show you how cool this is. So I'll come back to this video more in a little bit. I'm just going to minimize that. This is the IDE that we're using, the integrated development environment that we're using to program our drones, and it's called PyCharm. All right, and so if I scroll through, this is kind of just some of the code that we have gotten from Tello's website for their software development kit in regards to getting the drone up and flying. And so we've tweaked it a little bit, but really this is where the magic starts. And you can see I created a hashtag here that says, hey, create your functions here. And we created 4 different functions. A function that is called first hoop, second hoop, third, and fourth. All right, and so we first started with our first hoop function. All right, and this is the program that we sent to the drone. We wanted it to go up 50 centimeters. We wanted it to wait 7 seconds before then it sent the next program, which was going forward 190 centimeters. We used, again, this SDK known as a software development kit from Tello to kind of give us what these commands are for us to learn. All right, and so we did this first hoop. Then we moved on to the second hoop. All right, but we used what's called commits as we have gone through the process. And so we used a software application called Get Kraken. All right, and so I'm actually going to go and click on my first hoop here. All right, and I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to choose check out this commit. And it takes a second, but now I have this commit checked out. It says head here. So if I go back to PyCharm and wait patiently, you can see now that I have just my first hoop here. I have my second hoop function, third and fourth commented out. So it's not being run at all. If I scroll down a little further, this is where my drone actually starts taking off. It gets the takeoff command, all right, and it is going through it is calling my first hoop function. All right, and so we were actually then with our drones, we were just taking off and going through. This is our very first hoop right here. All right, so if I rewound this a little bit maybe and show you, it has taken off. Okay, and now it is moving through that first hoop, and then it pauses. Okay, so I'm going to pause my video right there. So we made it through the first hoop. We were successful. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. We were successful, so we went to Get Kraken and we did what's called a commit. We committed it. And when we committed it, if I look at this file here, you can see that I have added, the things in green are things that I've added. Now I took out a couple things because I was working through this in regards to my second, third, and fourth hoop. I commented those out, but really I added just these files, all right? If I wanted to see the entire file, I could actually click on that, but again, and it looks like the same file that we have in our PyCharm IDE. If I scroll through it real quick, all right, here is our functions that we have for first hoop, and then again we called that function down when we took off. All right, but I'm going to go back to diff view because I really like to see the difference between the file before and what we added to it. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. All right, now we are working on our second hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and click on second hoop. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to check out this commit. And I'll pause and wait a second. Now, if I go back to PyCharm through the power of Git, you can see that it is calling my second hoop down here. But I'm going to scroll up to where I have my functions. And here's my second function. I wanted it to go, and I'm using the Oh, I thought I changed that. Sorry about that. You know what? I changed it in my last one. I'm actually using the go command here. All right. And so I'm going 170 centimeters. I'm using my X, Y, and Z coordinates. And this is actually our speed here. All right. So I'm using the different coordinates to go through the second hoop. And so if I show my second hoop now, all right, it is going to go, and it's going to go up kind of at eventually gradually go up, you can see there. All right, it just didn't make an L, if you will. I'm going to pause my video right there. It didn't make an L by going up and over. It gradually went up. And I'm going to rewind that just a little bit here. All right, because we went through that second hoop successfully. And we'll come back to that here in a second. So we went through the second hoop successfully. So we were in our get cracking. We made it a commit. All right, so that way, if while we were working on our third hoop, if we would happen to mess things up in our program where it just totally went haywire, we can always go back to a previous commit. This is known as kind of like a fail-safe, if you will. Gamers do it all the time when they work on programs for many months, many years to make programs. They have multiple commits for fail-safes. If something messes up, they can refer back to a previous commit. So now we're on our third hoop, and if I go back to PyCharm now, you can see my third hoop has come, and I am working on using the curve command now instead of the go, and again, it's using the XYZ coordinates. All right, different speeds. We're sleeping for a little bit before we do a counterclockwise yaw by 180 degrees. All right, so let's take a look at that. All right, so I'm going to head on back to my video here, and it's gone through the second hoop, and now it's kind of going in a semicircle, if you will, a horseshoe right there, and it's going before it, and now it's turning 180 degrees. All right, so we successfully made that 180 degree turn. Again, we made that yaw, if you will, or not a yaw, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it is actually, they call it a yaw. I don't know all my terminology with drone flying, but again, we made a curve there, more of a horseshoe instead of a straight line over. That was one of the responsibilities of our students to do, and that was this command right here. All right, so now I'm going to head back to get cracking. We're going to check out our fourth and final hoop because we made it to our third hoop. And we're going to check out our drone comp, and give me a second. So now we're on our fourth hoop. We've got it checked out. I'm going to head on over to my PyCharm, and now we have our fourth hoop here, and we're going to use our go command, and instead of doing positives, we're doing negatives now because we want the drone to come down, if you will, kind of a land, if you will. So our first hoop going to our second hoop, we were using positive numbers to go up. Now we're using negative numbers to go down. And all the times we are actually calling those functions down in the actual program for the drone to utilize. So if we head on back to our video here, here is our drone now. It is going to go down gradually as if it is landing. That plane is on its descent to land. There's Jacob. Thank you, Jacob, for letting me program your drone, doing the awesome mission. All right. And so, again, that was our programming of our drones by utilizing, again, all these different functions. We utilized get cracking here to go through all of our commits. I can always go to my drone here to see what I took out. So you can see now that I actually changed my my single line comment from def second hoop, I don't know how I got that in there, to drone's mission through the second hula hoop using the go command. This one I chose it to use the curve command and then the go command again. So I have some messages there. You can see that I called my fourth hoop down here on lines 89 and 90. So this is a great tool for you to be able to see all of your different commits. And what's really cool about this is we push it. Now we will push these up to the internet to a great resource called GitHub. So if I go back to the internet now and go to GitHub, every time we get done, we push up to the internet. Here's all my different repositories that I have, and I'm going to click on my Tello drone. And I'm going to maximize this real quick. So when we get done with each of our commits, we actually push it up. So here I'm on the master branch, and we branched it off when we started our drone comp to go to our drone comp, because in the master one, we're just playing around with learning the drone and stuff like that. But here's some of our commits here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and click on my commits. I have 11 different commits. I'm going to go ahead and click on those. And again, we have some previous commits from our, again, playing around with learning our drones, from our flip functions to squares to making all sorts of cool things, to then really getting into our initializing our drone competition file. And here's our first hoop. If I would happen to click on my first hoop commit, it will show me after it loads up here, these are some of the things that I added on lines 48 and 49. Here is my commands. All right, I commented out some of my second and third hoops, but if I scroll down here, there are a few things that I did, and I can even see more of it because eventually I called that first hoop down here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose back. Because, again, now we got done with our second hoop. We were successful with it. We pushed it up to the internet. That's because if something happened to our computer, think again that you're a video game designer and something happened to your hard drive on your computer. You don't want to store all your files locally. You want to push them up to the internet. So if something happens, you can easily do what's called a pull request. Pull that off the internet on a different computer, and off and running you go. So I changed a little bit from my first hoop, but I did add my second hoop function by using the go command. And if I look down below here, then I called my second hoop down below. There's a little bit of space in between. Nothing was happening there, so they kind of minimize it. I could expand it all to see all of my program if I wanted to, but again, that makes it nice as a developer to kind of see what I took out in red. Oh, don't know why that did that. What I took out in red and what I added in green. So again, using GitHub is so valuable for us as developers. And I'm just going to jump into my fourth hoop. This is my final commit. All right. Again, this is all online. And I can see all the things that I've taken out. You can see that I've changed some of my single line messages and things that I added in green. Now, if I want to see the entire file, I can actually, give me a second here. I believe I can click on this and choose View File. Yes, I can. And I could then see the entire file that I had in my IDE, my PyCharm Integrated Development Environment. Here's my entire one. If I'm at home and I wanted to edit this code, I could do it. Now, I couldn't fly my drone, but I could go and choose editing mode, all right, and then start editing this file at home. All right, and then I would just come to school and pull it off the internet, test it out on my drone, and move forward. So really cool. I love this competition, watching all the students have a lot of fun by flying these drones through all these hoops. There's our Tello EDU. Again, a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, a lot of high vibes when they get their drone to actually go through certain hoops. So I can't wait to see our future generation of students working on their Tello drones, again, creating their programs in Python, but utilizing the software development kit from Tello EDU. And so lots of fun. Can't wait to see what you guys create. Have a great day.